Hello, I have a non-alcoholic IPA. I think it's pretty new. It's from WellBeing Brewing. It's brewed by O'Fallon Brewery in Missouri. So O'Fallon I've never heard of, never had their beer shipped here before. And I think this is pretty fresh. Though if it's a Julian dating on the bottle, then that means it was canned in July. But I already had some cans of this and thought it was pretty fresh. So it's called just Intentional IPA. One of the higher calorie non-alcoholic beers I've had recently. And this is one where they come out and just say it right on there that they gently remove the alcohol from a fully finished craft brews to make their beers, which I think is like the most common process these days. And I've heard that it makes the best beer because it actually is a beer that has full fermentation characteristics and everything. Because if you just make a beer, have it be like, and just stunt the fermentation so it barely ferments at all, you're just gonna get an unfinished tasting beer. So this one uses citron mosaic hops apparently. And the only non-alcoholic IPAs I've had up until this point were the special release ones from Athletic. They were hazy and kind of more New England style, though they were both quite bitter. But they were hazy and extremely fruity and juicy, but not sweet and soft. This one looks like it's a little bit more of a sort of a mid-2000s, slightly hazy citron mosaic type beer. And it has a little bit of a pale amberish golden tinge to it, so I think it's got some kind of, crystal or Munich malts or something in there. The head looks real nice though. Pretty medium low carbonation and everything. And I gave this to my girlfriend. She was drinking it and she didn't realize that it was non-alcoholic, which is a good sign. But I mean, it does have that hallmark character of non-alcoholics, which is, it just tastes like actual unfermented barley, even though this is a fully fermented beer. But it seems like when you take the alcohol out, or whatever that process does, you get that, straight up barley mash sort of smell and flavor. But it seems like it plays with the hops. Like, my girlfriend thought it had Amarillo hops in it because it has some of that green resinous quality and it's very citrusy. It's not really tropical and candy-like exactly like you get from citron mosaic usually. Maybe it has some berry notes, but it's just like some candied citrus maybe, and a very, very, very light hint of caramely malt. But it doesn't smell old, it smells pretty fresh and everything. My cat wants to come out here. Ooh, the flavor is a little bit sweet. Now there's even more toasty sweet malts coming out, but it's nice. It's a pretty good mouthfeel, it's never going to be as big as a full-on beer. And it lingers with actually some nice candy-like bright citrusy notes. That's pretty good. Maybe there's a hint of some peach. Yeah, I think it develops a nice peachy flavor. It's not ultra fresh ripe peach puree. It's more like peaches in syrup or peaches cooked. It's not even like peach rings. It's more like canned peaches or some kind of peach pastry, peach baked good thing. It has a lot of character that reminds me of like Lagunitas IPAs, which isn't a bad thing. And a good malt depth. And the bitterness builds up too. It's not really, really strong. It's not sort of that astringent ultra haze bitterness that I get from some Athletic IPAs. Not their regular IPA. I still haven't had that one. I think it's called Run Wild. This has Lagunitas type mild, boiled hop bitterness. Very gulpable, and it's darn satisfying. Yeah, I would recommend it. I'll probably try some of their other beers because they do a bunch of other kind of more modern styles, and they definitely do more modern, fancy packaging for a hazy IPA or for a non-alcoholic beer. So they're trying to appeal to newer trends, it seems, which is pretty cool. They have a wheat beer that maybe I'll try to get next. But I'm pretty impressed by this stuff. Hopefully more and more non-alcoholic craft beers come out, because I feel like the Americans are figuring out how to do it. Non-alcoholic beer has been popular in Europe for a long time, but they kind of just do like the classic styles, Pilsner, wheat beers. I would give this like a 4. It's very nice. Bye.